welcome. U2TV. I'm Coach Danzy alongside my partner, Coach Fullard, and this is our studio. We're back in the studio giving it to you guys like we used to. We're back on set, live and direct.
Back in the building.
Back in like that bar?
Yeah.
Back on the set, live and direct. How we do?
100%.
Yes, sir. But we want to start out with a tribute to one of our, best supporters.
Yes.
Yeah, he was very important to us. And, Earl, Coach Earl Harrison. He's very important to the basketball scene as a whole in the Capital District. He touched a lot of people's lives in Albany, and he touched lives in Troy, where he's from. So,
absolutely.
We just want to give a shout out to him and how important he was to us. Give us that feedback that we needed, man. When we started out, we didn't, we know where we were. You know what I mean?
Right.
And him saying, "Keep going. You guys are funny. You guys are just doing it. You guys are just doing a great job." So we just want to send some love to him.
Yeah, 100%. We definitely want to give Earl definitely a shout out, also known as Squirrel. Earl has been very paramount in communities in the Tri-City area, and particularly Troy, where he made his hallmark of helping youth and directing traffic over there to always make a better way for people and youth and community alike, And I remember when I was a kid going to see Earl, going to the Boys and Girls Club and going over there and running to Earl, and Earl come in and have that, graciousness about him, but you're gonna stay in line. This is the way we do it over here, young man. We show respect, we give respect, and that's who he was. And then I had the fortune of when I got older, I ran into Earl officiating basketball, and he became one of those guys. Come here, young fella. Let me talk to you for a second. This is how you keep your professional decorum. This is what they're looking for. These are the things you do. This is your do's. This is your don'ts. And this is your nots and your won'ts. You like that bar?
Right.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, we spin bars around here.
Not quite like mine.
It gets better. It gets better. So, yeah, Earl definitely has been a beacon and like I would say, like a light of a lot of people's path in particular. So we want to definitely give a shout out to Earl Harrison.
No question 100%. About it.
And they named the block after over in Troy, and well-deserving, and that's the way that you send him out and give him his flowers.
Yeah, no question about it, man. He wasn't about the fanfare neither. You know what I mean?
No.
He was like a guy, hard hat, head down, and it's wherever he can fit in, he gets in. You know what I mean?
Where he fits in, that's
and,
right.
Like you said, the Boys and Girls Club over there, man, that's where, I know him from, playing as a youth, playing for Trinity back in the day with Dave Bilal. And I remember him just being such a, just such a professional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that's a key word.
You don't see him using bad language or putting down people, putting down kids. He just was a professional. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
everything
100%.
that he did. So I think a lot of that stuff I took from him. Mm-hmm. Not even knowingly. You know what I mean? This is how he carried himself as a man in the community. You know what I mean? So guys like Dave Bilal and Coach Gibbons and Earl, those guys were real pivotal in my athletic and personal life.
Yeah, 100%, man. No question about it.
Yeah.
So he's one of those. He reminds me of the Pee Wee Alton Franklin of Arbor Hill Community Center. Earl Harrison is that equivalent type of guy to Troy.
No question about it. No question about it. Yeah. Now, let's move on to some basketball here, Coach. Earl Harrison, you'll be missed, man, for real talk. But we're going to move to basketball here. Some games that we saw.
Yes.
That we saw.
Yeah, we
U2TV.
saw. U2TV saw.
Yeah, so we didn't see everybody.
Right.
So we can't speak about everybody.
Right. So keep that in mind.
Yes. So we start out with class AAA now, because it's AAA now. The AA last year, now it's AAA, the big boys, the top level. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So we're going to start out with them. And let's see, what type of teams are out there, Coach? You got Green Tech. Right? Yep. And let's talk about them for a hot second, Coach, about Green Tech. And
just a hot second?
Yeah, it's going to be real quick. I know you love to talk about them, but I got to put you in a timer here, okay?
I can go down for days.
Yeah. But I'm saying, the first game we saw them out against another AAA, which was Shen. Shen came away with that victory in a close game where the scoring was very, little,
Right.
And Sakuchi came out to play and he balled out and he led that team, you know what I mean? He had Ethan Rudd, who had a great game that game as well. So those two guys right there, you had Peterson doing his little stuff down on the post. So those guys came out with it, and Maven, I'll let you speak about Maven, but he didn't come out with that that shooting mentality that he normally does, trying new things. But Umir came out to play. I thought he did some things, some special things out there. And I'll let you go on.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, like I said, going back, rewinding back to that opening game, it was an interesting game to say the least. It was a weird type of dynamic in that game. I had a weird feeling from the beginning of that game, and you saw Green Tech, you saw a Shenandoah team that came out and basically came to play and wasn't going to have no back down on them. They wasn't caring about the press clippings, wasn't caring about you won back-to-back section titles, don't care about your pick to win it this year, don't care about you bringing back all of those players that was sophomores. We don't care about none of that. And, Coach Yadawa talked about we just wanted our guys not to play scared and compete. And not only did they do that, they didn't play scared and they competed. They actually escaped out there with a win. Yeah. You know what I mean? And speaking of Hassai, that was one of the games where I thought that, he kind of didn't control the offense as much as I would like him have to control the offense, right? And so you saw where he only took like 2 shots the first half, worked to get going the second half, didn't kind of materialize, little too late. And Shen was able to escape with the victory. So, so hats off to them and a big victory in that sense.
No question about it. And let's go. I know we're gonna fast forward a little bit, but while we're on the Shen and Green Tech, let's go right to the Green Tech game that happened the other night. That happened last night, actually, right?
Right.
I mean, that was like the same type of game, really.
It really
was low. It was low. We saw the score late in that game almost mimic the game it played before. You know what I mean? So
facts.
It was a fascinating game. It was a lot of excitement. Guys are making tough shots. At one point in that game late, Shen was scored and Green Tech was scored and Shen was scored and Green Tech it was like back and forth at one particular portion of that game what made it really outstanding play to watch, Coach.
Yeah, 100%. It was very, very exciting. And it was an interesting dynamic, right? Because, Green Tech wanted revenge, obviously. You know what I mean? We were slated to come in and win that game. You guys come in. You guys did an alternate celebration. And all the other dynamics.
Celebration was on fleek.
It was on fleek, definitely. You know what I'm saying? You had the fortunes of catching it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I think nobody else had that coverage or footage.
Only U2TV
exclusive.
Had that. Exclusive.
Yeah. So anyhow, that Green Tech was poised for them to come in. And I tell you, man, I actually thought with all the dynamics coming into our home team, our home court, and us getting going, I expected them to kind of like come in with a zeal that I didn't know what Shen was going to be able to handle. And oh my God, true to form, Shenandoah came in and played that game nip and tuck with Green Tech.
Handled
it. Definitely. Battled to the point where it went into overtime, right?
Yes.
And again, you got to give your hat. I mean, B-Guy came in, he played.
Yeah. He is a boy. He only a sophomore, Coach.
He definitely. Free
throws were on point. I was 8 for 10
8 for 10 from the free throw line. He just came to play. And
Sakuchi. And Sakuchi, he does him. He had 14 points that game, along with Biga. And then you had Coach, the guy we didn't know.
I know.
Stuber with 16 points, Coach. A game high, 16 points. He came out the gate knocking that 3-ball down, Coach.
He did. He had 4 threes that game. He ended up with 14 points, so he was a bright spot as well. Other hand, Green Tech, I mean, they weathered the storm. They really did, and they had some timely buckets from Barnes. Hit a big 3. Hassai in that theory that you talked about going back and forth. He was going back and forth with them. And Brown, who was our U2TV player of the game, he came out hot. And it was just a nip and tuck. And I said it during the sportscast. This feels like not a 12-round fight, but the old time, 15-round fight. And Green Tech was able to escape with a victory. But one thing I will say, Shen definitely gave a lot to put in their head to think about moving forward.
Yeah. And a lot of people who thought that they, wouldn't, compete in that first game. And then they still had the audacity to think they wouldn't compete the second time. I wonder where the people are today. You know what I mean? Or they're still thinking that. I don't think they're thinking that anymore. You know what I mean?
But low-key shots now, but that's okay.
But I'm just saying, Shen is legit, Coach. They lost the games that they lost, Coach. I think 3 of them were decided by 1 point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you look at their score, you look at their record, and you think, oh, they ain't nothing. You come up against them in the playoffs and think that, and you see yourself packing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And I'll say this, and about Shen, is that I feel like Yadawa is really getting his feet underneath that team now. It takes couple years to put your stamp and identity after following up Tony DeSicis, you know what I mean? And I think Hall of Famer, I think right now Yadawa is starting to really get his feet under that team, and they're responding. And he got to be happy with the way they're playing. And of course, you want W's at the end of those, but that's not the goal. Right? That's not the ultimate goal, I should say. And so the ultimate goal for what they're aspiring to achieve, he has them trending in the right trajectory right now.
You're trending for that. You really want to be really good in February.
You can be good all you want in November, December, January. But if you go home early in February, what was the point of the matter, right? At the end of the day.
No question about it. So salute to both those teams. I mean, Green Tech, they took an early loss, a couple of early losses with the Academy and all them guys, and they found a way to get the close ones. You got to win the close ones, Coach. When you win the close ones, that says a lot about your character, your will to win, and stuff like that. So that was a good win for them. And like we talked about Shen already. So, Coach, then we gotta go to Green Tech versus Brooklyn. Let's go there. Against Brooklyn, they played against Nazareth. Kingsman, and that was a good game in that first half. And the game turned out to be a wide margin, but you had to be there.
You had to definitely be there,
know what I mean?
To appreciate the game in its fullness.
Yes. Both teams came out there just slugging away in that first half, even in the third quarter. Then the fourth quarter came around, then, everybody was just knocking down shots. Even guys you don't know, you know what I mean, was knocking down shots.
Yes, they had a ball.
They had a ball. Maben just went ridiculous that game with the passing, with the scoring, with the rebounding, tough defense, help defense. He was just all over the place. His energy level is never in question when you see Asad Maben play.
100%, and much like, speaking of Maben, real quick to rewind, much like you talked about, even yesterday with not having his really best game, you pointed the fact that it was all the other little things that he done. He showed a lot of maturation in saying, okay, I'm not having my best game. And this is what I always say. What other ways can you affect the game? Because there's so many components to this game that you can affect in so many ways that what else can you do? And he showed that. And in that Nazareth game, he was just 19 points, 10 assists, I think something like that. So he was showing the full completeness of a PG fleet. And Umir Graham, he came and he was really balling out. He was the U2TV player of the game that game with like 21 points, 20 rebounds, about 3-4 blocks. And on the other hand, we saw we liked the Rollins.
Yes, from Nazareth.
From Nazareth. He was smooth.
He has a lot of clean moves.
A lot of clean moves.
I mean, almost professional-like.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like, you talked about his interest. He has some real interest.
He got some big-time colleges looking at him. I saw 3 notables. Slipped my mind right now because I'm busy with U2TV stuff. But yeah, this dude is the real deal. I mean, I saw Oklahoma looking at him. You know what I mean? Oklahoma State. And a few.
You would remember Oklahoma, right?
Oklahoma Sooner, but he Oklahoma State. Cowboy. You know what I mean? So it's a little different. You know what I mean?
I thought you said, okay.
Dallas Cowboy.
Okay.
But Barnes came out. He's starting to come to his own too. I think he hit a couple shots in that game as well.
Yeah. He had 4 threes in that game.
4 threes. Wow.
4 threes. Three of them were in the fourth quarter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so definitely.
Yeah, and then you had Ali. I think he played very sparingly that game. I think he had an injury with his knee. I think they said.
Coach said he had knee injuries.
Yeah, so you had a couple of guys. Andrew guy you like. I think that's a game we saw where you really caught your eye.
Yes.
With Andrew coming out the gate shooting right away. You said you like that stuff, but it is what it is.
I said I like a guy who, if he's not accustomed to starting and he gets inserted into the starting lineup, he shows a bit of aggression and not passiveness.
Oh, okay.
That's all.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Now, Josiah Easton, coach, put on a dunk in that game, coach. That was this.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
He's gonna dunk on him.
And he proceeds to dunk on him.
Yes.
Yeah, a couple. Even the one Umir had on the other side of the other court, away from their bench. And Easton, they both were fouled on those dunks, coach. I mean, I know you don't want to talk about that, but if you look at it again, I see some contact there.
I did. Let's move on, because I don't know if I totally agree with you. It was like minor contact.
Yeah. When they caught the minor
from the side, was it body to body, stuff like that? Like,
well, I'm just saying, when they call the touch fouls on the floor, but the air is more dangerous, right? You supposed to be on top of that. Call that right away.
No, not necessarily. Like, basketball is a contact sport.
But when you're in the air, you gotta take safety first. I can imagine the games you ref.
There weren't like a lot of contact in those you're just crying for stuff. Like
But
it's like a boom. You're like, this is a foul. You're doing what you're doing what the coaches do, what the fans do, what everybody do. Everything is a foul. Everything is a foul.
I'm just saying, when you're in the air, you got to protect the player. That's all I'm saying.
Wow.
That's all I'm saying.
Everything is a foul.
Okay, we move on to Green Tech and Poughkeepsie, coach. Another good game, and they just really dismantled them.
Yeah, they just took care of business. It wasn't much to see there in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the fight that Poughkeepsie had, but overall,
Coach Moffitt, he brought him up there. He knew his team is. His team is actually doing pretty well in Class A in the state. They're ranked in the state, so he got some good things there. But Green Tech is just another animal when them guys are all engaged, all focused, and ready to get it in.
100%. 100%.
This is what it is. We'll move on to CBA Burnt Hills, coach. And that was a early season. That was like one of the first games of the season that we went to go see. And Burnt Hills was hanging tough in that first half, coach. And then second half, CBA just took off.
They just took off. Yeah, they did.
They shoot the ball so supremely well that game.
Yeah, they did, man.
It was amazing. You also had one of the guys on the Spartans team, the Burnt Hills team, coach Kofer, I think his name is Kofer.
Yeah, Kofer.
Yeah,
Kofer.
He's a young fella.
Yeah.
Knocking down those J's, coach.
He had actually 16 points that game with foul trouble.
Yeah, that's right. With
foul trouble.
And you also got the veteran over there for the Spartans. You got Ben.
Yes, Klein.
Ben Klein.
Ben Klein.
Big, strong body. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So once he started, he didn't really connect on a lot of shots.
He didn't.
And they do got two guards that I do like too, Torres and the other one.
You're not Miles Januzzi? Is he the other one?
He's a guard.
Yes, the other guard.
Yeah, so they can compete. I like them. I think they can do some things when February comes around. They're gonna be in Double A.
Yep.
So it won't be seeing the Green Techs of the world, the Colonies of the world. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So it's just what it is.
Yep.
But CBA coach.
Yeah, it was too much.
Too much Orsinski?
Too much Orsinski and Vogel. Orsinski had like almost 30 that game.
Yes.
And then Vogel had 25 that game.
Yeah, I think 27, right?
Yeah, 20 something around those. And it was just too much of those guys that night. And they were on fire, they were hot, and they just created the distance and they went and ran and hit. Yeah. And it was a wrap.
A wrap, as they say. Then we saw later on, actually, over the break, we saw CBA and McKill coach. McKill Christian Academy Lions coach. The Lions came in there roaring and in CBA's house in the holiday tournament. And it was a good game, but too much of Clark, coach.
Too much of Clark.
Clark was just going to work. He had 30 points that game, coach.
Yeah, he did.
And he only had 1 3. You know what I mean? So his ability to get to that basket was just unmatched by anybody in that game. You know what I mean? So it was just a pleasure to watch.
And he missed 8 free throws. He had 30 and he missed 8 free throws that game.
Wow. And he missed a couple chippy layups that he normally makes too.
Definitely.
So,
this guy was in line for a 40-point night.
Yes. So, Hussey did a good job too.
Yep.
They got so many transitional baskets, coach, that you just never see from a CBA squad.
Definitely not.
And it was we talked about this too, where the guy didn't have to dribble. He just caught the long ball and just put it up.
Yeah, he was catching it like this and he just laying it. You know what I mean? Don't have to make no moves or nothing. That was very off-putting to see, and that was a part of the distance in that game was that you look back at them transitional baskets, that was a big determination in that game. And then CBA, another thing CBA did that game, the fluidity of their offense were kind of like
it was off. It was off. Guys were just taking shots that was just not like
one pass shots too. Like that's
man.
You don't really accustomed to seeing.
You don't see that, man. It just didn't look good. And I think a lot of players. I'm gonna probably say this for the end, but I want to say this for the end. But I think a lot of players just don't understand how that looks to the people who are viewing it. You're taking all these shots and you're off, and you continue to shoot. You think you even if you do have a good game after that, it still don't look. It don't look good.
As you always say, aesthetically.
Yeah. You take a lot of shots to get a couple points, man, and you thinking you're doing something. That's not efficient. You know what I mean? So just take that and go take it how you will.
Definitely. You have to do things differently. That's all. Understand the temperature of the game.
Right. You got Schenectady, Niskayuna. That was a great game. Awesome game, coach.
How was that awesome, though?
I mean, it was a close game. Right? The guys are making shots. But I mean, the ill thing though was
it shouldn't have been a close game.
I'm about to get to that. The ill thing was that they were down by 20 points. They say 19, but I think it was 20. But it says down.
Rounded off.
Round 20 points. Down 20 points, coach. And entering the third.
Mm-hmm.
And then Niskayuna behind Danny. What you call him? Danny and the what?
Danny and the Miracles.
Danny and the Miracles came back, coach, and took that 1 point advantage. I think it was maybe 2. I think it was 1 point advantage. They win that game by, coach. I mean, it was just spectacular to watch Danny small, Danny Biggie small, Danny big time, Danny big shoes. You know, I call him big shoe because you got to have some big feet to fill them because he's something else out there. You can't fall behind that guy, coach. Normally with some small feet. So.
No question about it. Coach, I'll tell you like this. This is to your point, and I know you might be feeling like we're overhyping, or are we really going? If you don't have Danny, you just have a guard, you don't win that game.
No.
You don't even get back in that game.
No.
Period.
No.
The fact that Schenectady threw every guard that they could at him, and it didn't work. And understand, Schenectady has dogs. Like
yes,
they play
do.
D, they known for playing D.
You.
That's their hallmark of what they do.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
So in that game when they got down by 20, Schenectady has the kind of defense that can initially crush you.
Yep.
But Danny and Hagray, hats off to Hagray.
Yeah.
If I had an all-defensive team, he would be one of them. He might be one of my first selections, telling you. Him and the rest of that crew
Andre Jackson. I mean, there's a lot of dudes.
A lot of dudes over there. They just could not stay in front of Danny big time.
No.
So he was definitely a big difference in that game and helping the Silver Warriors come away with that victory. And you know, Schenectady did a little help too. But yeah.
You know, Danny was injured that game too. He had a foot problem there, and he still hobbled his way out to a victory, coach.
He did.
I mean, it's just he's a guard that can score. And he can pay, like Hassan maybe the same way. They just do it differently a little bit.
A little bit differently.
You know what I mean?
A little bit differently.
Those two guys,
the excitery, and that's the word I just made up. Yeah. The excitery meter, it's more you get Maven, very excited. They just solid, get it done meter, and it still gets done. Danny.
Yes.
And what I like about Danny is, like you said, those guys, you know, put them in a hat, take whatever one. But we're talking about Danny right now. What I like about Danny is that Danny actually makes plays develop that weren't there by making subtle moves from a PG possession predicament. So he will like come out, oh, that ain't open. So he'll make a quick move, a look here, a dribble here, or something, and then it opens up right for him. And he had all in his mind what he was doing. That's the kind of level that he's on mentally when it comes to men in that PG position.
No question about it. And you also had, the sharpshooter, the quarterback over there, Gilson, coach. He was off. He came back, and I think having some two, I think, big threes, man, to help stymie that comeback, too. And then you get Olsen. He struggled as well. Gavin Olsen, his little brother, had to come save him on one of those missed shots he had and put it back in during that little run. But if Gavin is on, coach, his team is tough.
It's tough.
You know what I mean?
It's tough.
You got Big G, Big Gulialia down there.
Casper
Mattia.
Casper Mattia down there.
And I like Spain off the bench that game.
Ryan Spain.
Yeah,
he
man.
Does his
and the
thing.
guy you like, McDonough.
Big Jake McDonald.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
He do his thing.
Yeah, man. So you got some guy. You got a bench
Brady
over there.
Olsen.
Yep.
His brother, Gavin, he kind of brings.
I like Rohan too. Rowan. I like him. He didn't score much, but he played defense and he controlled that. He did a good job at the PG while Danny was taking a little rest period. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So the coach Gross got some stuff to work with over there.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. And one more thing about Danny is that what you see, and this is what the maturation you see now with Hasai is, in that game, even though those guys were 0 for Ocean, he still didn't force. He kept still believing in those guys. Took it, asserted himself when he needed to, but made the right pass. I know you're 0 for Ocean, but you know what, Gilson? You're open again. Next thing you know, bang, bang, and it was lights out because the way Schenectady played and allowed them to kind of get back in that game and all that kind of stuff. And just, you know.
They got to work on some internal stuff there. I mean, because the mental was just not there. When you see a league like that dwindle, at what point do you say, all right, let me do something different and I'll come out and take jack-up shots? Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's about winning right now.
Yes.
You know what I mean? All that personal stuff you want to try to get, you got to put that to the side. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
And everybody can see, sometimes, Coach, you don't have to be the higher scorer to be the player of the game. I mean, I think people just have a misconception of that. You know what I mean? Just be the most effective player out there.
Yes.
Affect the game in a positive way throughout the duration of the game. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, no, it's just it's a thing where over there they have to clean up the fact that turning over the ball. So they had 20 turnovers that game.
Yes,
right? So you can't. It's hard to beat a Niskayuna team like that when you got 20 turnovers. What are their turnovers from? Ill-advised shots, one pass, rushing. You know, doing those type of things. So you couple turnovers with quick shots and stuff like that. That's a recipe to let teams back into the game. So I like Schenectady.
I do, man.
Right?
I do.
We like Schenectady. Anytime you have a team that play that kind of intensity defensively, get after this and all of that.
That team can be special,
It can be, so.
Yeah. They got to fix some little things. Next up goes Colonie versus Catholic Central. Catholic Central is an A this year. You know, Colonie's a triple A. So the outcome was the way it's supposed to be. I mean, if that's what it's the larger school, lower class school, right?
Right.
So, but
well, that's what you know.
Yeah. But no, the hype was definitely with Catholic Central. They came in there and they found out.
They found out real quick.
Messed around and found out. You know what I mean? So, but you know, Payday, Darren Moore, he came out, played. He played great. You know, something which he would do a little different, but you know, he played great. Samir, the other standout player for them, played great. But he wish they do some little things a little different. But you know, it's just when you run into a buzzsaw like a Julius Reed, who knocked down shots, plays D, rebounds. You know what I mean? Block a couple shots as well in that game too. And you got Tramarki, who goes downhill, coach, with reckless abandonment, and he avoids his charges, coach, so well.
He does.
So, and you got Trey, who hasn't got going yet, coach.
Right.
And his athleticism, coach, and you said he had a jump shot. So, once he gets in his self, you know what I mean?
He got a jump shot. I helped teach that jump shot to him. But go ahead. Anyway.
I see why he doesn't use it much.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, but I'm saying, though, but if once he starts going, coach, that team is sky's the limit. And then you got their bench. And then wait, Greg Davis is, just buying time for the big fella Seaver, the 6'9"er. Where he has his feet touching the floor. And you can see the little bit of confidence building in him. You know, he's not throwing a whole ton of minutes at him like, go out there, son, and be great. No,
I need 20 rebounds.
No. We got some seniors in here that understand how to win, wants to win, and got goals they want to achieve. We're gonna put you out there just to, test the waters. Right now, hopefully by February, we can probably use a little more.
Right. That's a big body inside. You start getting some agility going with him, moving side to side, blocking him some shots. Now you allow other guys to kind of get in there because now those tips and all of those things going on. You allow you allow Trey to do a little bit more roaming. Maybe Trey don't have to worry about guarding the biggest guy in the other team. You get like Davis is looking at the flexibility that he can have while keep getting minutes out of this kid. Right?
Yes.
So 100%. Those guys are definitely in. Like you said, Reed had 27 that game. Tramarki had 19. So those guys over there got like you said, a buzz all going. The acquisition of Greg Davis has those guys trending up in the right direction. I'll tell you that right now.
We got to talk about some of the other guys, coach. You got was that Ryan? What's Ryan? Ryan Klaus?
Ryan Klaus. You got Ryan Klaus.
Oh, coach, I like him.
Yep.
Energizer bunny. He's not, like you say, he's not scared at the moment. He gonna shoot some shots, coach. He's not scared.
He shows some aggression.
He's some aggression out there. So I like his guy. I think he's more of a defensive guy first, which I like, and he's not scared to take a shot here or two. I think he would. If something was not working with the big three, I think he'd be a guy that might can step in there and help shoulder low a little bit.
Totally agree.
You know what I mean?
He's a basketball player.
Yes,
Sometimes you get those guys that might be like 8th, 9th, or whatever on the bench, and he's like, he can like ball like Andrew Hewlett. Peter Henney. Like you got ballers that can play over there. So you got Gordon still.
Yes.
Makai
Gordon.
Yes. Like so for real, like. Greg Davis got those guys over there.
I like Teeny. You said Teeny. I like Teeny. Peter Teeny, man.
I said his name wrong.
Yeah, Peter Teeny, man. He's a solid guard who really is just a setup guy, gets the ball to the right people. I think he got some more to give to offensively. But right now, you really got to look for your shot. You can take what you get in that offense.
Yes.
And just score more in the fast break. Just get out more and get your whistle wet that way. But I think he got more to give as well.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So they got a nice little situation developing over there. And now they're actually being talked about, and probably get to that at some point in the same vein as now being a potential favored to win the section.
Yeah, no question about it. And then the last game that we saw, Coach, was Colonie versus Bethlehem. Now, Colonie is Colonie, Coach. Colonie just, it was at home. They had the home court advantage that game. And, I think by the second quarter, they started opening it up a little bit. You know what I mean? And then they kept it manageable, like 14-13. And then third, fourth quarter, they just ran away.
He ran away.
But, Leclerc played. I like Leclerc. You saw some stuff from Leclerc in that game, man. This Hezzy game is crazy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He can get a bucket for you. He's starting to be more assertive than I normally see him.
Right.
So I'm happy about that for them. And you also got the young sophomore, Barnes, who can knock down that three-point. He's probably one of the better three-point shooters in the area as well. He's definitely sniper ready. You know what I mean? You got Filio, who's a point guard, who likes to run the show, can score a little bit. And then you also got Ryan, down there, the big boy, 24, number 24. He's a solid contributor for them too as well. But AJ Irons, man, he finds a way to get it done. And he just didn't have it that game. But guess what? You have to see. You don't have to see. He have to see Colonie in February. You know what I mean? So he's he's got his guys getting challenged right now and getting ready for the last haul.
100%.
And like I said, Chamarky played well that game as well. He's just exciting, tough kid.
Tough.
Julius Reed's still doing his thing.
Tough.
I mean, we talked about them guys already, but it's just what it is.
It is what it is. For real. They're tough. I mean, that's the bottom line. Yeah. They like I said, they got the jet. They got the jet. They picked up Greg Davis from the airport. They brought him in, bust him in, had a limo ready for him and everything. So welcome home.
Right. Back home. Really,
and we got some pieces for you too to work with.
No question about it.
Continue to expect great things, and we'll get into that later because they got a real matchup coming up. That U2TV will be in the building. But anyway, let's move on.
Let's move on. And we're in Double A now, right?
Yes.
All right.
So we kind of talked about these teams a little bit already, we probably will just breeze kind of through.
Yeah, we want to talk about that one. Bethlehem, they play Colonie, so we already talked about that. Bethlehem also played New Hartford out of Section 3, the Syracuse area around there. They pretty much did a good job against them. That's their first game of the season there. They played in an alternate gym because they had a wrestling match that day.
Yeah, wrestling tournament.
Wrestling tournament, yeah. So we was there to watch that game, and New Hartford is a tough team, man. They went to the regionals like 2 years in a row. So that team has a little bit of a winning pedigree with them. So for them to take them down, even though they lost a lot of pieces, that bode in the right direction for them. So that was a good win for them. Niskayuna versus Schenectady we talked about. You know what I mean? Niskayuna's going to be Double A, so they look to be one of the top teams in that jump off. And we saw Niskayuna also, Coach, against Newburgh out of Section, I want to say 1. I want to say 1 so bad, but it could be 4 or something like that. But yeah, they dismantled them. Newburgh has some athletes over there too. You know what I mean? So that showed me. They beat them by like 20, Coach.
Yeah, they kind of handled
them. They handled them. So Niskayuna's trending in the right direction.
So they definitely are. And we had a lot of games that we covered with Niskayuna.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
I wonder why too.
I wonder why.
All right. So let me see here. I don't know why that's there. McKill versus CBA, Coach. We talked about that, right?
Yeah, we talked about that. We did.
That's McKill is going to be Double A, Coach.
Yeah, and
CBA is Triple A.
Did we talk enough? We talked enough about Terrence, did we?
I don't know if we talked enough about him.
But anyway, he's the real deal. We know that for a fact.
And LaSalle versus McKill. We was there. We didn't film that game. We just wanted to go there, check it out, and see what it was all about and all that good. And take a little break sometime. You know what I mean? We still want to see some players.
I do a lot.
Oh, man, I'm bugging. So we saw that game, Coach. And McKill came away with that game in a close one.
Yes.
And LaSalle has some balls over. They got the Treddy, Faison.
Yes.
And you also had the big fella, Devin Maloney.
Yes.
Or Mahoney.
Mahoney, I think.
Mahoney, yeah,
Mahoney.
big fella, man. That big fella showed me a lot.
He did.
Oh my goodness, athleticism, got the handle, can shoot the jumper.
Yes.
Yeah, I like to see him rebound a little more aggressively though.
Yes.
I like to see him do a little bit more of that, but he did that. He did a good job rebounding as well too though.
He did.
Be more of a shot blocker. I like to see more of that being that big. You know what I mean? He's he's only a freshman. Sky's the limit.
Who you talking about?
I'm talking about Faison.
I'm
not Faison. Mahoney, the big boy.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I mean? So,
definitely.
And the guard.
He's tough.
He's tough, coach.
He's tough.
Then you got the guard, Treddy, Faison for them, right?
Yes.
He did well. I like him. Let me see. You also had number 20. I forget his name. The lefty is shooting threes.
Oh yeah, yes.
I forget his name. Slipped my tongue right now, but he did good. Knocking out three. He missed out one though late that could have been a different story for them.
Definitely.
But,
yes. So yes, Maloney. Oh my God. Yes. This is what I would describe him as what he's trending into: professional scorer. Pay attention. He's going to be a professional scorer. If you know what I mean by a professional scorer, that's what he's going to be. Just knowing how to pick his spots correctly, knowing when to go, get into open windows and operate. I can see that. Nice touch around the basket.
Right hand, left hand.
Right hand, left. Yeah, so and then Faison, yes, electrifying. That's what I would describe him. Downhill, finishes at the basket, real nice. Either hand got nice little layup package with him, nice explosives, and he has the heart and the fury and the passion to go at anybody, and that's what I like about him. So LaSalle, double A again, be right there. Be right there.
Now we saw Troy Middletown. Middletown is definitely not saying much this year, Coach.
No, not at all.
And Troy ended up winning that. I think we left that game.
Like what, third period or something?
Yeah. In the third.
In the third. Yeah, I think we took off.
Yeah. Merritt special.
Very special.
You know what I mean?
Very special.
And they got some other pieces. Legend Merritt did well.
Yeah,
the other guard there, we didn't get a program, so I don't know his name. But the little short other guard there was doing his thing. And I think they're lacking size, though, right?
They are.
They're lacking size.
They like some size. Well, I didn't see, and his name is escaping me, but
Stephen.
Yeah.
Steven or Stephen. I
don't know what's going on. He had any injuries or anything like that.
Because he wasn't even on the bench.
He wasn't even, right.
Yeah,
right.
So he's about, what, 6'6", 6'7"?
Yeah, and that was the size they were looking to have, the hope to have, and they don't have that. So they're struggling in that area. It's going to be an uphill challenge for them. But the one bright spot, of course, is Stetson Merritt. And he showed you his range is getting deeper and deeper, and his moves. And when I say, I call it trifecta, when I think about Hassan, I think about Daniel, I think about Stetson, one thing I saw about all three of these guys is that they don't work to really take over games. They still trust their teammates and make the right play. So and that's impressive. That's impressive to me.
And Stetson likes to go at his own pace, too. So you ain't going to rush him too much. You know what I mean? So let's move on, Coach. We got the, that was A?
That was double A, so we're
going
A.
Okay.
And we kind of already covered the Catholic Central Colonie game, right?
Yeah, you got Glens Falls, Catholic Central. We were talking about Catholic Central, right? So Glens Falls.
Yep.
And let me get my paper together. And they played in the Coach versus Cancer tournament, Coach.
Oh, okay.
It's slipping my mind right now who they played. Well, it didn't matter.
It didn't. It sure didn't.
It was. The
other team probably don't even, glad we can't remember. Other teams glad you don't remember.
Real talk. Thank you. Woo.
Yes, for real.
Yeah, but Lala, Coach, the guard there, man, his jumper has improved dramatically. Well, maybe he already had a jumper, but his confidence shooting it is, it's crazy. Then you had Driscoll kid over there. He can knock it down.
Yes.
And I believe I read somewhere in the paper he had 47-point outing one night. You know what I mean? So that guy gets it up.
I did see that too. Yeah, I did see that.
Then you got the big fella down low, Nader. Nader, I can't pronounce his name right, but you know how I do, people. I'm in trouble with names. But he's a big fella in there, can score inside. I like him to get more physical, be more aggressive down there, and just take over in that post area. But right now, he's holding it down. You know
Glens Falls is a tough team, and you know they always are right there in the thick of things or what have you. They just reload and come back, and you see that happening this year. So they're going to be right there at the end as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they progress moving forward in the course of this season.
Yeah. Remember, we talking about the games we saw, so we're just going to talk about them. Mechanicville versus Hudson, coach, in Class B now. We're in Class B, and Mechanicville is B, and Hudson's a B. And Mechanicville came out of there in a close one as well, coach, over Hudson. But Hudson had a player, Keith Robinson, coach, that was just in Flago.
Yes.
I got to get a basket anyway. He can score at the rim. He can score from long. He hit a half-court shot in the half. Coach, the guy hit the mid-range jumper. The guy can do it all there. He's not a big guy either. You know what I mean? He gets it done. You know, and he also has a couple pieces in that team that he can work with that can shoot the ball as well. Again, Coach versus Kansas didn't have the program, so we don't know the players' names. Right. But I saw that. But Mechanicville, coach, they got like 4 guys that return, you know, and Rob Richardson was the leader, the catalyst of it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And he was just scoring constantly as well. You know, you got Cruz over there who's running the point for them majority of the time. He's, you know, guiding that team. You also have Vito. He's just a defensive harasser out there. You know what I mean? Yeah. I like that team, coach. I like the team, and we'll see how they do. I think they lost a little bit from last year. That might hamper them a little bit, but if they can fix those little holes, we'll see. But they did a great job against us in that day, though.
Yeah, they'd be competing for sure. And, one quick point on reference to Robinson. He's another one of the guards that I watched and made the right decision. Didn't force anything. You know, I say didn't force anything. Of course, everybody takes a forced shot here and there, but overall, right decision, the right play. You know, and that's like again, that's very impressive. When you're the guy on the team that you know pretty much you can take any shot that you want that's afforded to you, and sometimes your bad shot might be better than their good shot because you're that good. Right. And you still defer and still do the things and make the right basketball play. You know what I mean? So,
no question about it. So we move on from that. The Mechanicville, like I said, left that game with the victory at the Coach versus Kansas. And we saw Coach on Monday. We saw Stillwater versus Waterford. Coach Stillwater is clicking on all cylinders. The Warriors there over Waterford Half Moon Floridians. When you get Kalen Leak, who transferred from CBA over there now, who can just flat out shoot the rock, you know what I mean? Yes. And you bringing back the coach's son, Lucas Lilac, and then you got the big fella down low, Mueller, gets it in. And you got another guy off the bench, Caluso, who's just doing his thing. He's a 9th grader now. He was an 8th grader playing varsity. They got too much going. They got Thomas McDonough. Coach, he had 4 points, but I thought he had more than that. I don't know why I thought he had more than that. But his rebounding from the guard spot is incredible. You know what I mean? And guys are just finding themselves right now. And right now, Mueller is a load in the post, coach, for the B division. I'm sorry. They're in the Bs, right? They're in the Bs. So that'd be a tough order for a lot of teams in the Bs, coach, to try to hold him down.
Yeah, it really would be. Yeah. And they have like a complete team. Yeah. You know, well-rounded team. All the areas are covered. And then when you have 2 guards like Lee and Lilac in the backcourt handling the ball, both can shoot, both can score. It's a tough matchup for those. And then if you can't get them going, or they're already going, hey, let's take a break, duck down to Miller. He's a load to deal with as well.
Don't forget Thomas.
Thomas McDonough as well. You can't. You got guys down there. They got pieces. Yeah. They got pieces to be there at the end. They expecting. We talked to the coach. He said we're expecting to be there at the end.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And they're coming off a fabulous football season.
Yeah, they made it to the finals, coach. They didn't pan out the way they wanted in that final game, but they got all the way there to the Carrier Dome, coach. And Lucas Lilac, coach, is everything in the Class B this year, man. He took home a lot of accolades this season, man. The running back position and D-back position. So, and Mueller, coach, he's the quarterback, fullback, running back. He did it all. You know what I mean? Caluso, the 9th grader, he played varsity. He said Thomas McDonough played for the first time this year, and Coach said he saw what the football did for his ability to take contact. Right. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, they, like you said, when it feeds to the next sport, you know what I mean? You never
Well, the
win.
coach said he has like 8 players who played. Excuse me. All right, 9 players who played on that football team that's playing for him now. So that's like, you know what I mean? Those guys got to camaraderie of saying, hey, guys, we did it like this in football. Can we transpose that over to basketball? And that's the goal. And right now, they're performing at that level.
Yes, no doubt. And now we're going to talk about some teams that we didn't see, Coach. That's in B's.
Yeah.
All right. Fonda, Fultonville. All right. I believe they're the Braves. Coach, those guys, man, I've been hearing and reading up on them, man. Those guys are always there every year giving everybody tough battles. And they're just a tough team. I'm hearing it from other coaches as well. I mean, even the Waynesburg coach said this. Coach Simpson.
Yes.
He said the same thing about Fonda, man. They're just a load to deal with. You know what I mean? And Water Elite. You know, they got a new coach over there in Fusio who was assistant coach at Hudson Valley last year. He's down back at the high school level. He has a fabulous player in Daheem Wilson and a few other guys there, Coach. And that game went down to the wire, and Daheem didn't have that. He's averaging some crazy number, and he had a 37-point game this year. He only had 15, Coach, in this game. That tells you how much defense was being played in that game.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So baskets are hard to come by against a Fonda and a Water. Both teams, both teams couldn't find it. So both of these are just defensively minded teams, and they got the job done.
100%.
You know what I mean?
And Wilson is Wilson was a kid that we had in our young scholar athlete game that we played when he was a young kid, right? And to see him now evolve, and I walked to his dad. His dad was like, "You're not covering his game," and it made his dad go way back or what have you. And so I got a chance to watch some footage on him. I was like, because I haven't seen him in a while. I was like, this kid's the real deal. This kid is definitely the real deal. Like the way he passes the ball, he facilitates and he scores and he does those things. I'm looking forward to getting the game and covering him and seeing him up live in person, right?
Yeah, no question about it. We got to show love to the people who's in our program.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, we got to do that.
100%.
You know? So that's how that goes. That's the B's right there. Like, again, we're going to talk about teams that we saw or we heard about. Let me see here. All right, where we at, Coach? C? Okay.
And we basically saw the Waynesburg for the most part.
Well, the Waynesburg, Warrensburg, Waterford.
Waterford, North Warren. Is it North Warren?
North Warren is D.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, but they look, I mean, the Waynesburg's still on course to, do well this year. I think they lost one game this year. I forget who that was about. Oh, who that two? I want to say Maple Hill, Coach.
Okay.
They lost to Maple Hill.
They're always tough.
Yeah, Maple Hill brings it. So, but you got the Callis, Coach. You got Mahern over there, and you got Easton Thompson over there.
Yes.
And those are two notable from last year. And they got some new pieces this year too. That's helping out because the coach is really excited about the point guard that he brought up this year. So it looks like it's in their favor again.
Yeah. I mean, I saw Mulhern play, and man, I'm listening. He's he's a strong player. Yeah. He plays like he plays like every play is the last play he'll ever have, and that's what he brings to the table for that team. Right. It's like, and there's like the antithesis to one another, right? Polar opposites. You have Gibson. Is it? Am I saying that right?
Ooh,
Gibson.
Coach?
No, the player. The other player on
Thompson.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So you have him laid back, chill, smooth, silky, right? And
yeah.
Mulhern is a hard body type guy. You know what I'm saying, downhill, whatever. So that's the Waynesburg, and I like Simpson. I like why we covered him in preseason, right? Yes. And I liked his style, right? Even through practice, he was like on a chill type of mode. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like he had everything in order. And they were just running things efficiently, and you could tell that those kids understand the mind of the coach, and he doesn't have to do a whole lot of, all that extra digging in stuff.
Right.
And just seem to command control of everything, and those guys respond to how they play on the court, and it just.
But it goes back to what you said, though, about Mahern, man. Mahern is a dog.
He's a dog.
And he probably demands a lot from his teammates. You know what I mean? And when you get that type of guy on your team that really, and he does it the right way, too. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure. I would be very shocked if he's walking around school with his chest tucked out. You know what I mean? Like he let his game talk. He let his game do talking.
I don't think he has to stick his chest out. I think everybody already know what it is.
Yeah, but some of these guys still want to do that.
No, I understand, but I'm just saying particularly him. Yeah, I think everybody know what it is.
Right. So when you got a guy like that that's willing just to, just to willing to play and help your teammates and not be braggadocious or just being out there like look at me all the time type of thing, I think it could work. I think it could vote well for your team.
Yeah, it could vote well. Somebody's probably sitting there saying, "Have you been to our school? Where do you go?"
He in there bugging. He got a girl in his arm.
Yeah. But I tell you one thing, he is a very intimidating force on the court.
Yeah.
No question about it.
No question about it. All right, so we going to what? D's? The only D we saw was North Warren.
We only saw North Warren. It was the sectional championship last year.
He got a fabulous guard.
Yeah, fabulous guard. Yeah, Samaj
Cooler.
And they had their work cut out for him this year, though.
Yeah.
I mean, what we saw them going up against and what they displayed, he needs more. They had that one big guy, I don't remember his name. But he's going to be a little help to him, but they had their work cut out for him and actually repeat this year, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Loudonville Christian,
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot about Loudonville Christian, Coach. And we usually get a game with them every year.
Yes.
The last 3 years anyway. And,
they usually cover one of those, that player they have over there.
Yeah. His name escapes me right now. But, yeah, he's a very athletic guy. Can probably play in a lot of other schools, bigger schools in the area. You know what I mean? But I'm looking forward to catching the condensed game as well.
All right, so, I mean, we would be remiss without time we have left talking about, I'm going to put you to task. Let's just start off, since we don't have a lot of time, let's start off with the big boys. Who right now is your half-season pick?
Colonie.
Oh, wow, you didn't even hesitate.
Colonie.
You didn't even hesitate.
No, why? Why play games? Why play games?
I thought you wanted to ponder it, think
nothing to ponder.
You know what I mean?
Nothing to
meditate on it. You need to go home, meditate.
I'm good.
Get in zen like, you might need a lot of downloads to help you out.
One thing is, though, is that we're doing this today, but they play tomorrow. So I could be like looking real silly. Just gonna take him down.
That's all right, because styles make fights. We understand that.
Yeah. But people don't know that. You know what I mean?
Styles make fights. You can't, just because I can beat him,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And he beat his brother doesn't mean I can beat his brother.
Right.
You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that. So styles make fights. But so anyhow, I can't argue with that point. I'll be honest with you, coming out the gate, I get hyperbole a little bit sometimes, and I don't realize I get hyperbole sometimes.
I never get hyperbole. I just
get low hyperbole.
No, I just
get
keep.
Low, if it was a low hyperbole, it'd be low hyperbole.
Facts are normally like plain and bland. You know what I mean? So you don't. I know excitement in there. I just give facts.
Your facts be off, so.
Never
Your
off.
facts be off. So I have to bring you back down to earth. Back to life. Back to reality.
Well, you gonna sing the rest of our time off?
No. So anyhow, coming out, looking at Green Tech and what they were bringing back, I know you got to play the game. Don't get me wrong. It's no disrespect to nobody out there, but it was like, to me, it was like, wow, they won. And Boston Spa was that game, but other than that, it was kind of convincing fashion how they took care of business and they bring a lot of those players back, and then they add Eason to the mix. You know what I mean? So I was like, kind of like punching their ticket. Yeah. You know what I mean? To the
prematurely.
I was punching their ticket because we do preseason picks.
Right.
Like we're doing a half-season pick.
Right.
So your half-season pick of Colonie, is that premature or not? I'm just curious because I thought you could be able to make a projection. Is that okay? Okay, just a projection.
No, my projection is still from preseason to now. I'm still
okay, all right. So you're punching their ticket already, right?
Yeah, I'm saying.
Right, so it's okay to punch tickets now. Okay, I just want to make sure. So I'm going to punch the ticket right now. I'm going to punch their ticket. So the ticket I'm punching right now is that I had Green Tech kind of foregone conclusion with coming back and doing a trifecta, right? And now that's still my pick, but now you say, I see vulnerability. Oh, maybe it's not invincibility over there like I initially thought. Maybe we don't have to go.
Colonie, like, come out and play.
Warriors! It's the Warriors. They going, Eagles, come out and play.
Yes.
So, I mean, and so right now I have to say, it's up. That's my pick, but it's not far-fetched to say that Colonie is capable. It's not far-fetched to say Shin is capable. We haven't seen Shaker, who's undefeated right now. It's not out of the room for possible saying they're viable. We haven't seen Saratoga yet. We don't really know what they have, right? We haven't seen Albany yet. So it's safe to it's not totally a foregone conclusion is what I'm saying. So now it'd be interesting to see how this thing plays out.
So
I just think that for me though, this is where I will give the edge to Green Tech. When I go up to Glens Falls and I watch the teams and I look at little intricacies of things like that, the lights. Green Tech is starting to feel like Glens Falls is a home game now, right? They're not enamored by the moment. They're not overwhelmed by the moment. Right, they come out. I look at other teams. It's kind of bright. No backdrop.
They don't even know where the dead spots are on the floor.
They don't know where the dead spots are on the floor. The crowd. They doing all. You can see it. And where Green Tech still has that. No, this is kind of starting to be home now. You know what I mean? And that matters because these are young kids.
Yeah.
So.
But you got to keep it. I mean, the AAA has less than now. You got less teams.
True.
So you're gonna play a better team early on.
Yes.
Right? So.
Yes.
Upsets this year won't really be considered really upsets.
That's the truth. Because CBA, I mean, there's we didn't mention them, but they're right there too. What they have got going on, right? There won't be anybody nice. So you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, the matchups might be a little different. It's like that whole 1 to whatever, 15 and 2 to 14 that you normally are accustomed to having. That doesn't exist in the AAA really no more. Like you got to buckle up, right? Like when you used to say, I got to break first round. Or what? No, you gonna have to buckle up here in that division or what have you. So
no doubt about it. Yeah. So I mean, you going with Green Tech, and I think you're going with Green Tech every year. So they ain't nothing new. You know what I mean?
I've been right like almost every year. That's the part. Like, I mean, I'll tell you, like.
2004 is a different year, baby.
I'm just saying what you want me to say. I mean, if you, all right. So just full disclosure to a little bit, because this guy's trying to get at me or what have you. But if you go to Green Tech, there's a little bit of affinity and homerism, just a little bit, so y'all know. If you happen to go on Green Tech and you peer inside the trophy case really hard, right to your let me make this right. You're looking here, so if you look right to your left, what do you see? You will see a picture of me as the coach, the second in its history, coaching the squad. So when y'all out there, take a little, as soon as you walk in the door, look right in the case to your left, you see me over there with the squad. So this is
you got a tiny picture like that big.
Yeah.
You'll miss it.
Yo, I'm surprised they never took it out. Every time I go there, I look at you. Y'all still got that picture? Y'all didn't take it down of me yet, did you?
Yes.
No.
So we got to get into the double A's coach real quick.
All right, go ahead, real quick.
Because we got 1 minute?
Yes.
All right. Double A's coach, you got McKill, you got Niskayuna, you got LaSalle. I got Dark Horse and Burnt Hills. And I know I'm missing another team, but did I miss somebody?
You said we got a minute left.
Yeah. Now we got 45 seconds.
You said LaSalle, Bethlehem.
Bethlehem.
We don't know how good Amsterdam is. We can't talk about them, but yes. I know who you got.
Yeah. Who I got?
Yeah.
I'm going with Niskayuna.
Of course you're going with Niskayuna.
The Silver Warriors, baby.
You're going with Niskayuna. I like Niskayuna. Not too much I can say against Niskayuna. They have one of my favorite players, his favorite player, but one of my favorite players, and they have one of my favorite coaches, Grasso. So it's not much I can say, but I will say McKill's going to be a tough out. Hall of Fame coach Chad Bowman is tough, and Terrence.
I can't even get mad at you for that.
Yeah.
This is crazy. It's crazy. It's going to be exciting this year. All right, yo. This is our presentation. So we're back, guys, and we're going to send it out. U2TV.
Peace.